All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into Rumi, specifically his poem Only Breath.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the poem itself, and we've also got a really interesting explanation to kind of help us break it down.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I think our main goal should be to figure out, this poem was written centuries ago,
Yeah.
but it's still so powerful.
Yeah.
So, like, what is it about this poem that really makes it stand the test of time?
Definitely.
Okay, so right off the bat, the poem starts not Christian or Jew or Muslim, not Hindu, Buddhist, Sufi, or Zen, not any religion or cultural system.
Yeah.
And like right away, Rumi's kind of like stripping away all of these labels that we use to define ourselves.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And it's interesting because, like, even today, that statement feels pretty radical, you know?
Right.
Like, we still define ourselves so much by, those categories, religion, where we come from. And he just kind of cuts right through that.
It's true, yeah. So like, what's the effect of that when you read that? Like, what does that make you think about?
I mean, it makes you think about, like, if you take all that away, right? If you take away those labels, what's left? Like, what really defines you as a person? That's what I start thinking about.
Absolutely. And then he keeps going in that same vein. He says, I am not from the east or the west, not out of the ocean or up from the ground, not natural or ethereal, not composed of elements at all. I do not exist. I'm not an entity in this world or the next, did not descend from Adam and Eve or any origin story. My place is placeless, a trace of the traceless. It's like he's denying every possible, like, point of origin.
Yeah. And that's what's so cool, because I think, like, a lot of times we think about, who we are in terms of where we came from, our family history, our culture, all that. And Rumi's saying, like, that's not it. That's not the real you.
Yeah.
I think it's about, like, there's this spiritual part of us that's not bound by any of that.
Okay, so I was going to ask about that because, when he says, my place is placeless, is he saying, like, you're nowhere?
Well, I don't think it's about being nowhere. I think it's more like being everywhere, or like existing on some level that's totally beyond like how we normally think about place.
I see.
And that line, a trace of the traceless, it's like, what is that? You know?
Yeah.
But I think it's pointing to something bigger than us, something kind of ultimate, maybe even unknowable.
That's cool. Okay, so we get to these lines. Neither body nor soul. I belong to the beloved, have seen the two worlds as one, and that one call to, and know first, last, outer, inner, only that breath-breathing human being.
Yeah.
And the idea of the beloved kind of jumps out there. And also that idea of the two worlds becoming one.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the beloved is often interpreted as like a representation of the divine, like something beyond us. And then that two worlds is one thing. I think that's about this deep connection between like the material world and the spiritual world.
Okay.
Rumi's saying those aren't really separate.
So like we're all connected.
Right, exactly. And I think that last phrase, only that breath-breathing human being, and that's the part that always gets me, because it brings it all back down to like this really simple shared experience that we all have,
Right.
Like under all the layers of identity we all breathe, it's that breath of life that kind of connects us all.
And I guess it's like Rumi saying that's where the real unity is, right?
Yeah, totally.
Not in like the religion or the culture, but in that shared experience.
Exactly. And I think that's why people still connect to this poem so much, even like hundreds of years later.
Huh, that's powerful.
Because it's this reminder that underneath all the ways that we divide ourselves, we're all connected in this really fundamental way.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Think about Rumi's idea of being placeless
Okay.
and being connected by this shared breath. How does that change how you look at your own identity?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it makes you think about like, I'm putting too much emphasis on those external labels,
Yeah.
Am I letting them divide me from other people?
Right.
Like maybe there's a deeper level of connection that I'm not even seeing.
Yeah, it makes you think. So listeners, think about that too. How might this idea of placelessness and that shared breath change how you see yourselves? And maybe even more importantly, how you see the people around you.
It could change everything.
So thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.